What is going on, Phillies fans? Welcome into the Fighting Final here on the It's a Wrap Sports Network. I'm Big Al. Welcome. I haven't seen you guys in a little bit since last Sunday. Phillies have been doing well, except for the last couple of games. Tonight, no different. Another Friday night flop for the Phils. Not so fighting for these fighting Phils tonight. No excuse. Just I don't know. Fridays just aren't. Am I getting stuck with the bad games? Am I dealing with I don't know. It's these back-to-back losses are a tough watch, especially like I said, Friday nights. And again, I'm not going to get too much into the City Connect jerseys being horrible. I've already made that abundantly clear. But against the Brewers, I know they're wearing their grays tonight, but come on, man, blue and gold versus blue and gold. It's just no bueno. And again, it's dumb. I don't understand it. But Phil's lose the Brewers 6-2. Just not a great pitching tonight. Taiwan did okay, but struggled, especially in the beginning, letting up 2 runs, and then getting pulled. And Banks came in and gave up another home run, which made it 5. And then they let up another one in the 9th inning, which just the Phillies just dead in the water. And it was a bullpen game for the Brewers. This was a game they should have had. But they didn't. So, I know it's baseball and it's got to sweep it under a rug and move past this game. And, not having Harper in the lineup, it does suck. I mean, it's not an excuse, but it does go to show you for anybody who believes that Bryce Harper isn't as important as he is. I think tonight and last night should show you that not having him, guys pitch differently to this team when Bryce Harper's not in there. Let's hit some of these comments. Welcome to the elevator to the cellar. All right. We're still 15 games above 500. Let's calm down. I mean, we lost the first game of the series, which sucks. I hate when they lose that first game of the series. It's so important, that first game of the series. But they just won a series against the Braves. I mean, they lost a hell of a clunker last night. I mean, just Zach Wheeler start off well, didn't have it, and then tonight, just the pitching really wasn't there, and the bats were cold. They were cold last night and cold tonight. I can't. It's annoying to watch. It's cold. It's hard to watch. What's up, Al? Boring game. Couldn't get nothing going. No life and energy tonight. Yeah, there was no life or energy tonight. And I don't know why. Is it? Hopefully, are they going to go? Are they going to a little bit of a cold run after coming off a nice run? Brewers aren't a great team. I mean, they're 2 games above 500 with tonight's win. We're 15 games above 500. It's like I said, it's just wasn't a good night for your Fightins. It just really wasn't. And the bats were cold. The pitching was bad. The night was just rainy and damp. It just bad day all around. Like, it wasn't. The Brewers came in ready to play way more than the Phillies did. It's true. It's the truth. And I guess they were all excited to see their buddy Rhys Hoskins back. Listen, and I'm going to talk about that a little bit. Love Rhys Hoskins. Love what he did with the Phillies. But this whole Rhys Hoskins love, it just goes to show you how convoluted this fan base can be, how topsy-turvy can be. Ryan saying, during the 9-game win streak, the Phillies barely beat those teams. Matty B mailed it in about the offensive problems last night. I guess I mean nailed it. Not mailed it, about the offensive problems last night. Yeah, there's offensive problems. They are cold right now. They did beat the teams. Listen, I hate this stuff. I really do. It gets a little old about how we just crap on this team no matter what they do. I mean, could you imagine going to your job or dealing with your friends and family, and everything that you do, no matter how good or bad you do it, you're getting the same kind of piss and vinegar. They're cold right now. They're not doing well. There's no good way about it. I'm not going to sit here and make excuses about it. I'm not saying there's a reason that they're doing this, but they're going to lose games. Even if you win 100 games, there's going to be 62 losses on your schedule. And they're at 21 right now. Okay? So you're at 21 losses right now. So that means there's another, if you only lose 60 games, which they're going to lose probably more than that. Say they have 62, so they win 100 games. There's still 41 losses for them to have. And they're in June for the most part. So, I mean, like, really, we have to kind of ratchet it back a little bit. I'm not sitting here and like, get your broad. I always say this. I feel like I have to say this every game, every post game. I'm not sitting here telling you get your seat ready for Broad Street. Here they come. This team is just deadpan winning the World Series this year. I'm not saying that. They have they have a bunch of holes they have to fill, but they're holes that are fillable and fixable that this team can definitely turn around. And this team's going to have some cold streaks. It's going to happen, especially when you're a guy like Harper, who, no matter how good or bad he's batting, you respect him in a lineup, which means different pitchers are going to pitch differently to teams with Harper in and out of the lineup. True facts. So it's just, that's the difference. Let's see, Ryan. Again, my concern is the Phillies hitters last 5 years have been streaky of a team. That's exactly true. Ryan, right there, that first sentence, 100%. That's their Achilles heel is their streakiness. Pitching has been pretty solid for the most part. Now, bullpen this year, obviously, having its woes, keeping their head as far above water as they are with their woes. I mean, do we not take any of that in consideration? This team has not had a great bullpen. They've had some good outings, but overall, not a great bullpen. And then you lose a guy like Alvarado, and you're still, and I understand, they just got off a nice little streak against some lollipop teams. I get that. But when you're the best team in baseball, or at least one of the best records in baseball right now, everybody's below you. So not anybody's going to be as good as you. There's not anybody above you at that point. They are either hot or cold as a whole, never in between. When they struggle, it's an entire team every time at the same time. No guys are hot when they struggle. It's always everyone. This is true. This happens a lot. It's happened over the years. I have to say this year, it hasn't happened in large bunches. That's one of the positives I would take away from this Phillies team. They haven't had like a long stretch. There's a little bit like after they beat the Dodgers, they kind of got swept by the Mets, and they were really cold across the board. Outside of that, they've been pretty consistent. Good teams, bad teams, mediocre teams, it doesn't matter. But this team still has championship pedigree. No matter how much Matty B wants to nail it or not nail it, how much people want to piss all over the parade of the Phillies, and you're going to get all upset over one loss. You just beat your division rivals, now the Braves, who are another meandering, mediocre team, up and around the 500 marker. But they're still a team that plays against you well. And, yeah, there was like a playoff-type atmosphere against them when they were here, except for, of course, the last game. Last game, Wheeler didn't have it. The team got cold. I mean, the team was cold, was hot and cold in one game. They had timely hitting in the first game of yesterday that they needed, but the second game they didn't. Maybe there's a little exhaustion here. You've had 3 games in 24 hours now. You know what I mean? Like it's or less than 48 hours, we'll say. In 36 hours, you played 3 games. Maybe that's a little bit of it. I know I'm going to get the excuse card slapped on me for that, but maybe part of it is that. They just played 3 games in the time frame. So let's just chill. Like I said, chill a little bit about just beating down on this team. Like, no matter what they do, they can go on a 15-game winning streak. We will find something wrong with what they do. Okay? So they won 9 of 10. They just won 2 of 3. So that's 11 for 13 wins. They lost tonight's game. They're going to have bad games. They're going to have a couple streaks here and there. I hope they keep their streaks small and minimal because they have made some improvements at their approach, at the plate. I really what I'm worried about is the bullpen. They have to find some pieces somewhere. Hubert saying JT trade him for bullpen help. He's not good. He's no good. Mundo is using the force, and these guys can't play with the motion. All right. The JT hate. I know I'm a JT fan and a little biased because I am a fan. I think he's a really good catcher. Is his offense been Lackluster, 100%. I'm not blind here. I see that. But he's batting low in the lineup, and he is still, when it comes to the field, one of the best catchers out there. Tonight he had a couple flubs, but the ball was wet. It wasn't his greatest game. This was not a great game across the board. But JT is a maestro out there, and it's without him they might not have the success that they do have already. We gotta stop banging on him so much. I just never understood a fan base who just is so against their team. Like, it's almost we want to be right. We'd rather be right than have them win. It's how bad this is. They need a wake-up call. It's one loss. Or I'm sorry, 2 losses in the last 2 days. But they also had a win yesterday too. So there's got to be some balance somewhere, right? Like, it's hard to sweep teams. It's even harder to sweep teams at 3 games in 2 days. Sorry. The Braves had to do it too, but the Braves, they didn't have much offense in the first night, so their offense had to come sometime. Theirs just came at the right time. The Phillies defense looked a little weary. Zach Wheeler wasn't Zach Wheeler. Chris Sales was Chris Sales. That's what happened yesterday. Today, they really dropped the opportunity for a win against a bullpen game against the Brewers, who have had struggles with their pitching, especially starting pitching. I believe this was their 12th starter this year. 12th starter pitcher. I mean, we saw that a lot last year. We remember what that was like. That's why we were a very 500-ish team last year, because of that issue. So we understand those woes. But even bullpen games are going to happen. Taijuan Walker was kind of tonight. He had that bad first inning, good 4 innings after that. Then he fell apart in the 5th inning. That's like I said, I'm not ready to beat up on this team like everybody else is. Phillies are slumping the last few games. You called it, James. You called it a slump for 2 games. Like, seriously, I'm not being a smartass. I'm asking seriously. What defines a slump in your mind and anybody else here watching this? What defines a slump? Is it the stretch of time? Does that make a difference? Or is it because a lot of guys are not doing it at the same time? That's where I want to go. I wonder what reason is for not bringing Kemp up to play third base. As Bryce said, his elbow is sore and he'll be missing a few games. I think because they're going to give Amundo Sosa the chance, because everybody just loves Amundo because he does play well. But again, guys like Amundo, it depends. He comes good and he's streaky. Like, I think if you let him play every day, he would get exposed. We see a lot of guys who, like, you give them opportunities and they'll get exposed. So I'm not sitting there saying Amundo Sosa isn't good and couldn't do it, but I think they're going to give Amundo Sosa the chances to play. They're just going to bring him out. I mean, you can't just bring guys up and you have to option somebody down there for it unless there's an injury. And you're not putting Harper on the 10-day DL because he could be back tomorrow or he could be back on Monday. They're trying to find out what his swelling's looking like. He was taking some fielding today. He was wearing the compression sleeve. So, I mean, to take that for what it's worth. This is bound to, it is going to happen in baseball. Like I said, if you win 100 games, there's 62 losses on your card. Okay? And just like a win and just like a loss, wins and losses aren't weighted. They're not based on who you play or how many runs you run up. You could have 50 runs in a game or 0 runs in a game. That loss is that loss, that win is that win. It's all, see, the one thing we forget as fans of a sport in general, but in baseball, it's about response. Response is how it is. Is really what defines a team in my eyes. How does a team respond to adversity? How does a team respond to a loss? Again, not an excuse. 3 games in 36 hours, 48 hours, whatever you want to call it. Cold, miserable night, maybe just adds up to being a slumpy, sluggish game where this team just couldn't get out of it. It was a bad game. They deserve the boos. They deserve you not to be happy with the outcome of today's game and the type of play for this game. But you also don't just, this is the team. This is not the seller. This was a bad night. Imagine you had a bad day at work or a couple, and you 10 years you put in this job and you had a couple bad days and they fire you based on this couple days. The rest of the 10 years meant nothing. Like, that's baseball. It is a marathon. It is not a sprint. It's how it is. I mean, in football terms, how the Eagles started last year. If there was a baseball, that would have been like June. They would have lost they would be 500 by June if they were that way. Like, it's you gotta just one step at a time. Like I said, be mad, be upset, didn't play well, crap game, whatever the reason was. It was all those reasons, whatever. But it is not the end of the world, and they are not a crap team. They're a good team who played bad today. Losing when you're trying is fine, not this unsightly. Yeah, that's where I'm upset with it, Hubert. I'll give you that. I will give you that. That's where I'm upset with it. It just seemed like they weren't trying. Again, was it sluggishness? Was the, all the baseball they played in the last few days, the crappy weather, all that stuff? I'm sure I'm waiting for the message to pop up, with the excuses. It's the pitching hasn't been great. Zach Wheeler wasn't great last night. Taijuan Walker wasn't great today. The bullpen wasn't great. Pitching's a little sluggish right now, and pitching has been one of the big things, especially starting pitching. But doesn't matter if you the starting pitching didn't give up a run into the fifth inning. They still would have won because the offense was cold. This team is inconsistent. I guess we're being inconsistent. Again, I think we're overreacting to the inconsistencies. What is inconsistent? That they've lost 2 games in a row? I just told you. Now, I know it was the A's. It was the Rockies. I understand it was bad teams. But you took 9 out of 10 games. You won a series against your a 3-game series against your divisional rivals, playing 3 games in 2 days, and you lost the first game of a weekend series. You could still win the series. So let me ask you guys that question. If you won 9 out of 10, you won 2 out of 3, and they come back and win 2 out of 3. What are your thoughts about this on Monday? If we went back in time before that happens, and I told you guys they're going to lose they're going to win 9 out of 10 games and win the next 2 series against the Braves and the Brewers, would you be happy with that? Because I sure hope so. And if you're not, you're ridiculous. It is what it is. It's like, we need to calm down. If this is what what Saturday looks like, if this is what Sunday looks like, and they're just this sluggish crap team, yeah, then that vinegar, that piss should be coming out, and you guys should be just letting them have it. But come on, I'd rather let out some of the bad energy now. What do you mean? Like the Phillies just kind of letting out this blah energy now, James, or your energy, the negative energy you're having right now? That's why I'm going to make sure we're on the same page. Phillies better get another lefty in the bullpen, or Strom is going to be worn out. Strom has been, there's a little bit of an inconsistency there. I mean, the Alvarado thing hurts. It does, because he was one of the more sure things that we had in the bullpen. And I think the fact that he's not in there kind of compounds on guys who were pretty steady Eddie, like Tanner Banks, Matt Strom. Those guys, the pressure's there more. Even when Romano came in for game 1 of yesterday's game, you saw in his eyes, the pressure was on him. And that last ball wasn't a strike. We got a favorable call, the right time. Yes, Alba can't keep having every hitter go cold at the same time. It's a whole team. That's their issue. It's going to stop them from winning it all. Again, Rye, I am not disagreeing with you. And especially 2023 and 2022, that was a big problem. A very, very big problem. in this smaller sample size of 2025 from end of March, April, and now through May, so pretty much 2 full months we've gone through, they've been way more consistent. Better, and I'm not just talking about wins and losses. I'm talking about hits, timely hitting. For the most part, for most games, I can kind of say in this, how many games have they played so far? 57 games. Maybe 5 games they got these kind of blah games. Not that that's acceptable. It should be never blah games. But these are the, I don't think the inconsistencies are as bad as we say they are. I think we're all still a little burnt and sore. And listen, last year's exit against the Mets still irks me, wakes me up at night, makes me vomit thinking about it. We are living in the past. We are allowing pasts to hurt us. It's like being upset because a girl broke your heart. I'm never going to date another girl or trust another girl again. No, you can't do that. You have to use that a little bit, but you have to work away from that. I've seen some changes in this team that we were asking for and we're getting. We're not getting everything at one time. I wasn't a complete 180 in some things, but I'm seeing a lot of improvement in certain areas. The over celebration of things, that the kind of a maturity thing. I would like them to stick with Stott more, but putting Stott in that leadoff spot is not something we all thought was going to happen, and I don't even think they had that planned. So, I mean, it'd be interesting. I hate the non-trying and those excuses. Call them what they are. JT was always the BDIB. Never considered him the best offensive catcher. I would always say BCIB, meaning best defensive catcher in baseball, never the best offensive star catcher. And listen, he's had some very big offensive moments, but over the last couple of years, he's been kind of MLB average, 250, 235 to 250, 268 range. And he hasn't really been clutch since 2022, like clutch moments. It's a little bit more nerve-wracking. I mean, right now he's 229. It's not the greatest. I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm trying to find out what his average was last year. Hold on one second. Why is that not coming up there? Has everything but that. All right, whatever. I will come back to that in a moment. I don't know why it's being so wonky. But yeah, I mean, you have it's like certain players, you're not worried about their offensive as much as you're worried about their defense. Kind of like Johan Rojas. That's why he's number 9 hole. But you would like to have a little bit more consistent hitting, and I would like to see more from JT. And I'm sure JT would want to. I mean, I don't think he is happy with his state of play at all. But at the same time, he is a big proponent, a big reason this team has done so well over the years. So last year, he was 266 last year, 252 the year before, 2022, 272 batting average. And right now, he's a little lower than we would like him to, but 225. He's a career 270 right now. So he's a little lower than we're used to having him right now. But Phil's pitching has been bland all week. Absolutely. 5 stolen bases allowed on the BCIB. Wow. What is... You keep saying that. Do me a favor, Matty B. What is the average amount of stolen bases per catcher in the MLB right now? Where would he land? Catchers, if there's a list of all starting 32 pitchers in baseball, where does he land? Top 10? Bottom 5? I mean, I want to know, because is 5 stolen bases a lot? But how many times has he saved a game because of his arm, because he threw somebody out? How many times has he been able to conduct against with a pitcher who's not finding the strike zone very well? I mean, that's what I want to know. What are the other catchers giving up who they're stolen? I want to see I want to see how many they've let up. Like, so against 30 stolen base attempts, he's let up 5 of the 30. And I want to know what the average is, because you just keep throwing out 5 stolen bases. What does that mean? Is that a good number? Is that a bad? I don't even know. I honestly don't know off the top of my head. Bench without Sosa on it is not bringing up a bench player is more weaker now. The bench without Sosa on it and not bringing up a bench player is more weaker now. They're not bringing up a bench player because they don't have a spot on the bench. Harper is not on the IL, so they don't have a spot. So Sosa has to play, and the bench is being ridden by Harper. Stott, Marsh take every first pitch. No game planning. They have no plan. If they win Saturday and Sunday, I'll say, I'm sorry, we love you, JT, and Rob can stay. But that's not what I'm asking about. You're being silly. I know that, but that's not what I'm asking about. What I'm asking about is, why are we overreacting to one loss? 2 losses in the last back-to-back losses. But why are we overreacting to one loss right now? I mean, that's what I want to know. They still, I think, as of right now, they are the second in all of Major League behind the Tigers, who are at .649 winning percentage, and the Phillies are .643. That's, isn't it what it's all about, is winning? And I know it's the regular season. I get that. Winning in the regular season doesn't mean as much, but you need to get there. Ask the Sixers how that worked out. You know what I mean? They started playing basketball that way. Yeah, we'll get to the postseason. No, it's like almost a foregone conclusion that they're going to get to the postseason, and then when we get to the postseason, we're going to turn it on. No, there's got to be a consistency there. You got to stay steady and then get hot and stay hot, because we've seen a lot of teams. Take the Arizona Diamondbacks, 2023. They got hot at the right time. We got cold at the right time. We looked dumb at the right time. But since then, Rangers, Texas, the Rangers won that series, or won that World Series, and have been fledgling ever since. Team is batting .255 through 57 games with runners in scoring position. They are averaging 4.6 runs a game through 57. Go on Homer that away. Go on Homer that away. Oh, go on Homer that away. Okay, yes. I look at the win-loss record, pal. I mean, is it? I mean, they're being more consistent, getting the timely hitting and winning when they should. 4.6 runs a game. Again, what's the MLB average? Where does .255 fall into as a team batting average over 57 games? Let's look that up. Team batting average 2025. Let's see. Sorry. Here we go. So the Phillies are fifth in Major League Baseball at .257 right now. I don't know if this just didn't update. That he's looking at old numbers, whatever it is. They are fifth in all of baseball, behind the Yankees, the Cubs, the Cardinals, and the Dodgers. Okay. The next one up, the highest one, they are 0.6 points behind. They're 257 to 263. That is your differential in batting average. Right? So there's your homering it away for team batting average. Let's see what team runs per game, right, Matty B? Runs per game, 2025. Let's see. I believe they are sixth in runs or seventh. I'm sorry. Right now, they are seventh in runs per game. Runs, overall runs, 272. The next one's the Cubs are at 332. But they have about 40 more at bats, but give or take, they still have a much higher one. But they overall, the Cubs are number 1. We're at number 7. So there you go. Could it be better? Sure. But they are still tops in baseball. Should I keep going? Run one or two, three guys are struggling okay, but when the other guys need to get doing good or very good, other guys have to be hot when one or three guys are struggling to pick up the struggling guys. We don't see that on this team. You don't see that in the last couple games, but that has happened. Let's start with this. Alec Boehm. We were all ready to pack his goddamn bags, and I was one of them in the beginning of the season. He just looked lost. Absolutely lost. Okay? Other guys carried Alec Boehm because when Alec Boehm came up the bat and he was down in that 7-8 hole, wherever they kept him, he was struggling majorly. He looked like just a lost puppy and somebody shitting his Cheerios. I'm going to get yelled about Matty B. I think I cursed a lot on this one. But in the month of May, he turned around. He's batting over 300. He has picked up the pace for other people who allowed him to do his thing while they picked up the pace. We saw with Nick Castellanos in the years past. Struggled, that he turned it on while other guys were carrying the team. So don't tell me that doesn't happen. We have this very minute tunnel vision with this team, and I get it. They haven't brought us what we've wanted, which is a World Series victory and a parade down Broad Street. I understand that is the main reason we are all here watching this team, 100%. But we don't win World Series in May. You don't lose. You can lose the opportunity to go to any playoffs in May if you play bad enough. Ask some teams right now. Ask the Pirates. Ask the Rockies. They're pretty much. I mean, they're not mathematically out of it, but they're can't get much closer in the month of May. So remember these things. Going by the last 4 years, when their offense struggles, it happens. Not just at the moment or right now. I understand that. And I understand we have to look at that, but we also have to kind of clear the palate a little bit. We do. We have to kind of clean the slate. This is 2025. This isn't 2024. This isn't 2023. It's not 2022. It's not 2008. It's not 1980. You know what I mean? It's not 1993. It's 2025. Clean slate. You play who's in front of you. This team is playing well. Could be better. Could be a little bit more consistent. But despite some of the losses, some of the team loss, I mean, like the Alvarado situation. Now Harper out. Guys like Boehm and Brandon Marsh struggling. Now, Brandon Marsh hasn't been great. He's been better than he was before he went on the injury list. But I'm over Brandon Marsh. Be honest with you, I'm good. I'm good and glad. I'm waiting for Mr. Crawford to come on up and take the helm. Be honest with you. I'm waiting on that one. I thought it might have been by now. I guess maybe it's going to be more towards the All-Star break or after the All-Star break. Maybe they're just giving Marsh a little bit more time. I don't know. Before they make that kind of a decision. Or maybe he'll get packaged into some trade for, him in the bag of balls for nothing. I don't know. But there's certain guys I'm over with. I would like to see them move on. Otto Kemp, could he come up here and produce? It would be nice to see. It's no foregone conclusion. I really think Otto Kemp's a trade piece. I think he's the most reasonable trade piece for the Philadelphia Phillies right now. If you lose Otto Kemp, you're not going to be completely upset like if they traded Aiden Miller or Crawford or Andrew Painter, T8 or Ty8, however you say his name. Those are the kind of guys you'll get upset about if they go. But I don't know. You look at the old baseball, you see how you feel. They have not won since 2008. I would love to see another win. Absolutely. I'm not sitting there saying getting close is good enough. But to sit there and say this is the bottom of the basement, this is the bad team, this, that, and the other. They are not playing well over the last 24 hours. Totally. They won one of those games, might I add. It's the poor accountability. That's what I can't stand. Do something to fix it, Dave. Rob someone. Again, accountability. 100% agree. It's 100% needed. I don't know. I mean, Rob's not the vocal guy that comes out and says, X player is playing bad right now, and he needs to step his game up or I'm benching him. He's not that kind of guy. He's never going to be that kind of guy. But I don't think there's no accountability there. I mean, we all talked about this going into the season that this is kind of sort of not a last hurrah, but like a last time the core of this team's going to be playing together. I mean, Kyle Schwarber could be gone, and unless they sign him, they could have signed him in the offseason, and they didn't. I don't know if it's a money thing or a years thing that made them reticent to sign him right away, or whatever it was. But he's putting on a goddamn show for him to do it. I mean, there's another guy. Talk about consistency. Kyle Schwarber. We thought Kyle Schwarber's clock started in June. Kyle Schwarber's clock has been started in 2024 and hasn't stopped, to be honest with you. The most consistent guy we've had on this team. Even when this team's playing bad, Kyle Schwarber's there for the most part. It's not strikeout or walk or home run or walk anymore. Or home run or strikeout anymore. Like, it's just not. Oh, they had a hot bat in Marchand, but they kept seating JT out there. All I'm saying is go with the hot bat. It can't hurt. Okay. You're not going to put Marchand 2 games in the same day. They're just not going to catch 2 guys at the same time. This ain't the 80s and the 70s anymore. They're just not going to do that. So what does that mean? So you think Marchand should have started tonight over JT? Do you think that helps JT? I mean, they put JT with Wheeler because Wheeler, numbers-wise, does better when JT's behind the plate. Nola's the same thing. When JT's there, they do better. Last night wasn't it. What about runners in scoring position now? Entirely different story. Okay, let's look that up. I'm not sitting there saying that hasn't been an issue. It's been better this year than past years, just from the eye test, but it hasn't been 1,000%. I will agree with you that. Let's see, MLB teams, RISP 2025. Let's see. Team splits. Let's see what Baseball Reference says. Phillies number 5, guys. Phillies 5th in Major League Baseball behind the Dodgers, Chicago, Giants, Yankees. We're number 5. Again, would I want to be number 1? Absolutely. But we're acting like we're in the bottom. I mean, there's other teams that St. Louis. They're worse than we are right now. Miami's number 6 right now, runners in scoring position. Tampa Bay Rays are number 8. Detroit's 9. Washington is 10. Go all the way to the bottom. I mean, Colorado's 26th. Baltimore, White Sox, Royals, and Texas is all above them. The Mets, right on our tail, right? They are 24th in runners in scoring position. Should I keep going? We should trade Bohm. He is slow. I mean, big long-legged giraffe. They call him Raffy for a reason. I'm not saying don't trade Bohm, but you got to make sure you get something. Like, you can't assume Otto Kemp's going to be the guy. But maybe they do trade him. I don't know, this season, maybe in the offseason, depending on how the season plays out, how he produces. I mean, overall, he's been one of our better hitters this year, believe it or not, even with his bad start. I mean, his batting average is up there. Even though he had a really, really bad start. Let's see. He right now, 2025, he's a 265. Considering the fact that he was sub 200 up until May. It's pretty damn good. That's a turnaround. That's when you do 300 and sub 200 in April and May, you get a 265. Well, he is the only true all-field hitters on this team. He never tries to do much. Better get another guy who hits to all fields like him and never tries to do too much. Listen, Ryan. So here we go. That last year, that was like going into the season, people's upset about the Phillies. They were super upset about, they didn't sign Juan Soto. They didn't make a big move, yada, yada, yada. I didn't think this team needed a big move. I would have liked to see more of a all fields hitter like you're talking about, a guy who's a contact guy, a guy who, this team was producing runs on the base pass, doing a lot of things like that. And we were seeing a lot of that throughout the season for the most part, way more than we've seen the last couple of years. I was hoping that Max Kepler could be more of that kind of guy. I don't need another power bat. I agree with you. I want to see guys just going to spray the ball over the field, get runners in scoring position. Take last night's game, right? You're down a lot of runs, 8-0 at whatever point. Then they're trying to, we know that team will swing for the fences. I want a team that's going to try to get runners on the base path, get the pitcher, because, swinging it, you can erase a home run in my eyes than putting one or two guys. You put one or two guys on base, I think is somewhat more mind messing with a pitcher than just, all right, he gave up a home run. We're up 8-0. It's 8-1. We don't care. I'd rather see him give up a couple bloop singles and then just feel kind of like, uh-oh, let him put the pressure on him. So I do agree with that, Rye. Well, Schwarber play keeps the money. He's going to command either now or in the offseason is going to go up and up. Just think what this offense would look like without Schwarber next season. I know. That's why I'm saying they really should have signed him. Like, I really was kind of – I don't know. I don't know what the asking and what the offering was, but with the Phillies trying to go just too low ball, like trying to say – I mean, people forget. I think everybody assumes he's a lot older, but he's the same age as Bryce Harper. We got many more years of Bryce. The Phillies should extend Schwarber 2 years ago. I don't know about 2 years ago, but maybe last year or definitely in the offseason last year. I mean, I think they – it's kind of like with Aaron Nola. Same thing happened with Aaron Nola. They were the talks. The talks stopped between Aaron Nola and the Phillies before last season, and he had a really good season and he played really well, in 2023, and then the market was out there. They let him hit the market. He was the best pitcher on the market, and then they had to pay best pitcher money to him. I don't know how much they would have saved, but it'd probably been less than they're paying him now if they sign him right away. Now, here's the deal. All right, Dave, give me the deal. JT isn't automatic out anymore. All I'm saying is Marchand is hitting the ball. It can't hurt to put this kid in the lineup. He played well yesterday in Game 1 against the Braves. Get off the JT train, Al, just saying. First part, I'll be on any goddamn train I want to there, Dave Yarnold, so thank you very much. Just kidding. But, no. Rafael Marchand, like, he's batting at 152 right now. Now, I know it hasn't been a lot. I'm going to try to see how many at-bats he's had this season. He only had 33 at-bats. He hasn't had a lot of opportunities, but he's batting at 152. And he's good. And defensively, he's not JT. He's behind him. But he's not, I mean, we saw him. He had a hell of a game yesterday. And I like Rafael. He had a hell of a game yesterday. But Rafael's problems is staying healthy. Absolutely. And if you play him a lot more, you got to bring Stubbies back up here. Stubbs your guy again. Do you want Stubbs to be your guy? JT is your starting catcher. And yes, he is not an automatic out. He's getting close to it. But Rafael Marchand has not been hitting the ball off the bat. He hit his first home run yesterday. This is what I'm talking about. We see things in these little specks, and we take that and we expand them in our brains that this is what it is. This is reality. No, this is the moment in time. Rafael Marchand had his moment in time yesterday. There's nothing saying that he would have came out and hit. He wouldn't have been 0 for 4 tonight. 0 for 3, 0 for 4, whatever it would have been. But there's also nothing saying he wouldn't have been 4 for 4. But he's not your starting catcher. You want to put your best foot forward, especially with Taijuan Walker on the plate. They might not want Rafael calling Taijuan. They might think that that 1-2 combo is not a good idea. You got to look at the whole picture. Just like people think, oh, this team's bad, this team's not bad. Every hole that you guys have thrown at me, including Matty B, I put it right. I pulled the numbers. The numbers are right there. 5th, 6th, 7th in all of baseball. And you have the second best record, best winning percentage in baseball. It's like, guys, you can't, like, I hope everybody who's like getting like this right now, you guys are on a lot of BP meds, a lot of heart meds. Because if you're going to live like this with your Phillies, like, you got to like kind of like breathe and take a step back. Understand the game of baseball is 162 games. I'm not sitting there saying you shouldn't be upset when they put up a crap game like this, because it was a crap game. But to sit there and act like this team just, this guy sucks, and you want to get rid of JT, all right, who are you going to bring in? Who are you bringing in? You think Rafael Marchand? We could just trade away JT, put Rafael Marchand in there to play every day. It's just like who's the guy they just trade away? We had him up here for a short time, and he was in the minors. They trade away, whatever his name. I'm completely blanking out. They go somewhere else to get a little more playing time, playing maybe for a lesser team, and they suck. Some of these guys are good in small spurts. That's what they're good at. You give them too much time to get exposed, or they don't do well. You can't sit here. Bohm has a 265 average, 20 RBIs, and 4 home runs. If Schwarber walks next year, is Bohm going to be a 25-30 home run rate? No, absolutely not. That's just not Bohm. I don't think Bohm's I think he's a 15, 16, 17 home run hitter on a good year. Maybe 20 if you really stretch it. But no, Bohm is not making up for Schwarber production. Schwarber, let's be honest, Schwarber's a bit of a freak in some ways. I mean, we all saw his batting average over the years before where he's like 200, right around the 200 marker. But he's got tons of RBIs, tons of home runs. He's walking like crazy. He had, outside the batting average, he was great. Now he's got the batting average to go with it. And when he comes up there, because of his power, because of his pure ability, like there's some things that he reaches out and puts over that fence, like 300-400 feet, that nobody else would be able to do. He is a strong beast of a man who gets a nice compact swing and can take a lollipop hit that most people wouldn't be able to rake and make it look easy. Short and simple. Phillies should never sign Nola. I disagree with that. I do. I don't think Nola is. I made more hope. I can't say thing. I really don't think he's going to be that bad all season long. I think they're letting him rest, get his stuff together, and he's going to come back. They're very heavy at starting pitcher, so this is the one area they can kind of like, all right, let's take our time with it. It's not like, Strom has a problem between the ears or Romano has a problem between the ears, and we're going to give him an injury to give him some time off because they don't have anybody else. The Hernandezes and the Joe Rosses and all those guys in the world, they're okay for right this moment, but that is not going to last long. The floodgates will open if that's not fixed. I think Nola is going to be just fine. I'm trading Bohm only for another hitter who hits to all fields. Not a slugger, not a nothing guy who strikes out a lot. Maybe a little more power, but he has to be an all fields hitter. I would see like a whole team of all fields hitters. I said this at one of the finals when they were really struggling. I said, I would just love Rob Thompson to say, listen, guys, the next guy to try to hit a home run or hits a home run, you're benched. I only want to see singles, doubles, and triples. That's it. Just small ball. I mean, for a while, they were doing that. They were winning plenty of games without using the long ball. And if we were using the long ball, it was, it was like sorry, hold on. Sorry. It was coming off of a good outing like that. See, Dave, see accountability. Rob Thompson has proven ineffective in bullpen development and management. He doesn't see what's coming. He trusts the proven failure again and again. He cut Cody dumb. Oh, Cody Clemens. That's right. Thank you. Cody. Not dumb. All right, let's do that one. Let's talk about that. Let's see. Cody Clemens. He is doing okay with the Twins right now. I know that. But that's what let's see. He is he's 274 right now. All right, I didn't know that. So he's doing a little better than I thought. He was struggling after he first got there. He had a couple good games and he struggled for a while. But Cody Clemens, he doesn't do much for your bench, and he's not going to play every day. I mean, it wasn't going to happen. He's playing with the Twins right now. I mean, it's not, it's, how do I put this? It's not going to, he's not going to beat the world. I mean, he's there, 500 plus 500 team, 5+5. on the field, right in the middle of the American League, behind the Tigers and Guardians right now, or they're kind of tied with the Guardians. They're not a bad team, but again, Cody 62 at bats, right? So I'm not, I'm not sitting there saying I like Cody Clemens. I would like to see it, but I don't think he was going to be the difference maker. The Red Sox have Rafael Devers and Alex Bergman. As of right now, I think either one could be available at an upgrade defensively and offensively, head and shoulders above Bohm. I wouldn't be up against that. I think the only thing is, let's see. I don't know. Devers is how old is Devers? That's what I really want to know. He's only 28. Okay, so that's good. So yeah, I wasn't sure if there was going to be the age thing with him or not. I didn't know with his age off the top of my head. Bergman's 31. So, so listen up. All right, here we go. Here we go. Matty B. So listen up, Phillies. You heard it here. The team bats sub 260 with runs in scoring position and also scores less than 5 runs per game. Game is top contender in this league. Look at it, man. Did I just make those numbers up? Didn't I just pull up? You told me to dispute it. 5 and 6 in those areas, and that's what happened. That's where they're at. I don't know what else you want me to do. Like, feed your needs. I ain't gonna do it, pal. It's just not gonna happen. This team, the last couple of games, not great, but in 57 games, if that's what you're looking at, and that's what we're talking about here, and runners in scoring position, they're 6. In batting average, they're 5. And in win percentage, they're 2. Isn't that where it counts? It sounds if that sounds weird, just refer to 2022, 2023, and 2024. Look at Clemens' numbers since the Twins. He misplayed Stram and Hoffman and Soto, Strom and Hoffman, and Soto and Dominguez, and all those guys are gone better than what they signed for. Well, that would be Dombrowski, right? He's light years over Weston Wilson. Yeah, I won't disagree with that. Hoppy had to trade because he was ready to play. He was ready to play full time. He was ready for the majors. JT was going to block him. He wasn't going to be okay or good at a bench guy or in the minors. Yeah, and they were just trying to make peace in 2022. They were trying to win. They had the opportunity to win, and they thought that was the best move. And like you said, he wasn't going to be playing full time in the next few years, and they had to make a choice, and that seemed like a reasonable choice. Is it the right choice? Probably not. But at the moment, it was. And that's, if I'm in that moment, I'd probably pull the same trigger. I'm just not in love with O'Hoppe like everybody else is, but he's a very good player. And would I love to have him on this team? Absolutely. I would love to have him way over Rafael Marchand. But would he play backup? And maybe if he was here, JT and him could split a little bit more. Maybe. And then they don't have to worry about signing JT or what are they going to do after his contract's up. Devers has a huge contract. Berman can opt out of his contract after this season. Phillies are 5th in runs scored per game, really. What MLB.com told me. Just going by that. Now we're complaining about letting Cody go. He wasn't doing good on the bench, so why are we complaining about letting him go? He had no spot here. Didn't. We are going to talk about this game a little bit. I know we got off, guys. I spent the last 55 minutes talking about everything but the game in the breakdown, so I'm going to get yelled at by Matty even more. Phillies lost 6-2. Just offensively, a cold, dreary night, just like the night itself. Stott was 0 for 4 with a strikeout. Turner was 1 for 4 with a run scored. Schwarber was 2 for 4 with an RBI and a strikeout. Bohm was 0 for 4. Castellanos was 1 for 4 with a run scored and a walk and a strikeout. Max Kepler was 0 for 3. Realmuto was 0 for 3. Marsh was 0 for 2 with a walk. And Sosa was 0 for 3. Very lackluster night with 2 runs scored on 4 hits, 2 RBIs, 1 walk, and only 6 strikeouts, though. Because their pitcher was the kind of guy that you make contact with and it just doesn't go anywhere. Stays in the infield, and they used that against the Phillies big time. I mean, this is the kind of night you look at the score and you go, oh, they must have struck out a lot. But they didn't. Actually, believe it or not, Brewers struck out a hell of a lot more than they did. On the night, they scored 6 runs off of 12 hits, 6 RBIs, 4 walks, and 13 strikeouts. Believe it or not. They struck out 13 times. Shows you how bad the Phillies were playing tonight. And that's the kind of pitching you want too. Like, I know watching guys get mowed down, struck out is fun. But if you want to preserve a guy's arm and let him go deep in the game, it's just balls in the dirt, simple plays, keep it simple. That is how you win games like this, especially against power hitters and guys who are used to, stretching the game, the runs out. They are just not able to, they weren't able to do it tonight, especially against this pitcher. Let's see. We got Marsh, who has a great barrel rate, but not hitting coach to help him. So now it's the hitting coach's fault. I think Marsh is who Marsh is. And that's the best Marsh. You might get a little bit better than he is now. But I think Marsh is who Marsh is. I don't think you're going to see any. He's going to be a 8-hole hitter at best. He plays good defense for the most part, but he's an 8-hole hitter. You would like to see a little bit better offense from a guy in the outfield like that. But the Brewers, on what should have been a bullpen game, they had 2 pitchers tonight. DL Hall, 3 innings pitched, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts. All strikeouts came on Hall. Priester came in, 4 hits, led up to 2 runs, 2 earned, and let 1 home run. Walker, not a great night, 4 innings pitched, 7 hits, 4 earned runs, walk, 6 strikeouts. Banks, 1 inning tossed, 2 hits, 1 run. It was earned with 1 strikeout and a home run he allowed. Jesus Lazar, Lazar, 2 point. It was 2 3rd inning, 1 hit allowed, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts. He actually had a decent night. Like, he came in relief. He was able to stretch it out a little bit more. Hernandez came in for 1 2/3 innings, 2 hits, 1 run, 1 earned. It was earned, and a walk, as well as 3 strikeouts and the home run he allowed. So Phillies pitching let up 12 hits, as I said before, 6 runs. They were all earned, 4 walks, 13 strikeouts. 13 strikeouts with 2 home runs allowed. So that was painful for them tonight. I'm not mad about the loss. I'm more mad about the Phillies just acting like they didn't want to be playing. That falls on the manager to keep this team up. I agree with that. But I know, like I said, I'm going to get yelled at about this one. But I do remember 3 games in 48 hours. It's a lot, especially in the cold, dreary nights like this. And then you have another guy like Harper who's not available. So that adds to it. So this team's a little run down right now. It's true. I'm hoping that they can go home tonight, rest, clean, get a little rest, relax, and be able to come back and be fully energized tomorrow. We'll find out. Like I said, what I look for in a winning championship team is what happens when they lose. How do they respond? Be mad about that loss. I'm 100%. Be mad about the lack of energy. But let's not sell them up the river because of one night. That's just what I guess would be all that's what I'm saying. Al, why you're in love with a 34-year-old catcher who's an automatic out blows my mind. I'll never figure it out. You won't figure it out, Dave. You won't, because you can't see what I see. Yes, he's 34 years old, and I'm not telling you to sign him for another 10 years. This is not what I'm telling you. But to sit here and act like he is the worst catcher in baseball, he's the worst. Right now, he's struggling at the plate. I will agree with that. He has been mediocre at best, lackluster, whatever term you want to use. I will give you that. But JT can hit. He can run, and he can get on the base paths. And a defensive catcher, he is tops in baseball. He is also like I said, like a maestro. He conducts a game. That is something that either you have or you don't. And any team would really like to have a guy who could handle the field, handle a pitcher, conduct a game like JT. And if you can't see that, maybe you don't understand the position that well, Dave. I'm not being a dick. I'm just being honest. Like, I get it. It's not me being in love with him. I really do respect his game and his ability. And even though he let up, I'm going to look at it after I'm not going to look up anymore during the show. It's not proper of me to sit here and stop and Google and all that. But I want to see all the catchers in baseball and how many people have stolen on these catchers. Like, where does JT fall on attempts versus stolen bags? That's what I want, because I think, again, we have a tunnel vision, we have a vendetta, we have an agenda, whatever it is. We have a take that we want to be more right than we want to be wrong about. If I think a player's bad or can't do something, and they go and prove me wrong, I have no problem saying, salute to you, my friend. Applaud you. I will chew on this crow happily. But others don't. Phillies better look into getting another catcher, as Realmuto is a free agent after the season. 100%. They kind of did back themselves in the corner. They may have to extend him for a year, but he might want more than that. It really depends, because the young guy, T8, is not going to be probably ready for the majors. It's very young. And you don't take this high pocketbook starting rotation and just let Rafael Marchand take the helm all year long unless you think he's ready. But his health is an issue. And you're going to have Marchand and Stubbs as your two catchers. That's the other thing. So something has to give on the catcher thing. And it's going to be interesting to see how they do. And then probably won't be into the offseason, Mike. But I don't know. I mean, JT might be a guy they have to allow to test the market, because he's got to see if there's a market out there for him, and maybe somebody will overpay for him. But like Dave said, he's 34 years old. So what's somebody going to sign him for? 2 years? Maybe 2 years in a club option? I don't know. I don't know. With his batting average the way it is, I don't expect, unless it gets better and he just turns it on. But I don't know. Maybe they have to extend him for another year, maybe two, while they wait for this backlog. Let's see. The Phillies. Realmuto isn't going to take a cheap contract. I don't think so either, Mike. But again, he's going to be 35 by the time it comes around, I think. So, and his batting average wasn't great. And it's not like, all right, well, he has a really good bat. Maybe we play him at first base a little bit, give him a little break off his knees. You're going to want him for his catching. And he is in still pretty damn good shape. He could still run real fast for a 34-year-old catcher. Let that also sink in, Dave Yarnell. Let that one sink in. Guys, let's we're getting a little late in it. Let's hit it, and let's go down, take a trip down the old Broad Street bottom line. All right, Broad Street bottom line. For those who are new to the It's a Wrap Sports Network, it's the bottom line of tonight's game, which we didn't talk about too much. We got a lot more tangents here. But bottom line is, I think my point has been this whole game is, yes, this was a bad game. Yes, they looked bad. They looked like energy was sucked out of them, whatever you want to call it. It was all around, you have all around good games for the whole team games. Like, it's hard to pick an all-star. It's hard to pick an all-star in this game because nobody was an all-star. There really wasn't anybody really to look at and say, wow, Kyle Schwarber. It's the only one that looks good out there right now, tonight, whatever you want to call it. So maybe it's on Kyle to kind of rally his team up and say, hopefully somebody went there tonight. Guys, whatever it is, if you're tired, if you call, you don't feel it, whatever it is, you're exhausted, go home, rest, get your heads out of your ass, and come back to play baseball. We got a goddamn series to win. That's how I want to. I want to see how they respond and how this team leads. That's what I want to know. Let's see. Realmuto, will make a good manager. Could be. Maybe, yeah, catcher, coach. That's Mr. Showstopper to you, Al. No, Dave. No, it's not. I will not call you the Showstopper. You are not stealing HBK's name. Sorry. I know you love him, but you're not going to steal his nickname. But the bottom line is response. How does this team respond? How does this team response kind of falls into falls into accountability. How does this team account for itself? Self-police themselves. That's what I want to see. How does this team look at this night? Do they go home? It's all about a balance. Like, you're not going to go home and beat yourself up all night and you wake up tomorrow and just get in your own heads, but you're also not going to go to bed tonight and pretend like nothing and be all lackadaisical about it. You got to not like what it is, go throw it up into the toilet, flush it, start over again, and be ready to come play the Brewers tomorrow and take this series. That's what they need. That's how it's done. And that's your Broad Street bottom line. Let's take a trip. Oh, and that bottom line was brought to you by, coming very shortly, right in a few moments after I end this, the wraparound with Pat Bernard. I'm sure he'll be talking a little bit about the Phillies game tonight. I know he says he's even talking about the Wooder Dogs for you Wooder Dogs fans out there, but also Flyers, and of course the Eagles with the Bryce Huff news out there. I'm sure there's going to be a lot to talk about, and so much more. Pat will be bringing it with you, and don't forget, Pat is also on Thursdays. Last night, Tacking Third, him and Steve Fernandez. Yes, Steve Fernandez, according to Pat Bernard. Tacking Third every Thursday night, talking Philadelphia Union soccer, MLS soccer. And then he's back on Sundays with Mike and myself hosting PM in the AM. Sundays will never be the same. And if you really want to hear it all from the king himself, Matty B, final word. His final word. From Sunday through Thursday, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Matty B will be bringing it for you. So let's let me hit a couple more of these comments, because I think, speaking of the devil, explain to it the best fans in baseball, the Phillies fans, on how they should prepare for another less than championship season while using excuses and misplaced expectations. So are they lost already? Like, Matty, let's talk about that for a minute. If you want to take your extra time, I'm going to cut into Pat's time for a minute. Sorry, Pat. You're just going to wait. The adults are talking. So they lost. Are you telling me this team lost already? Remember, it's easy to act like they're going to lose, then it's easier to act like they're going to win. I'm not a blind man. I'm wearing glasses, but I ain't blind. They have holes, but they're fixable holes. They're pluggable holes. And you got championship caliber guys, championship caliber pitching. If they can get a couple more bullpen pieces, they can definitely stabilize this bullpen. But it's easy to sit there and say, out of 32 teams, that one team is not going to win it. You have a 1 in 32 chance. It's probably a little less than that. But because, odds, like, there's other teams that are pretty much almost out of it already. But to sit here and tell me that the Phillies aren't in a fighting chance to be in the playoffs and make a run is bullshit, and you know it. You know it, no matter how much of you want to say it's not true. They have warts. They got to work around their warts and play better. If you're looking for perfection, you're watching the wrong sport, Matty B. Sorry. True facts. It is the wrong sport if you're looking for perfection. This is not a game based on perfection. I've said it to you 1,000 times. A great career is hitting the ball 3 out of 10 times. A good season's hitting the ball 3 out of 10 times, and that's not even the MLB average anymore. Let's just throw that out there. It's not using excuses. It's not misplaced expectations. My expectations is for them to win this year. That's what I expect from this team. I am not going to sit here and tell you that it's a foregone conclusion, but I'm also not going to sit here and tell you that they have no goddamn snowball's chance in hell either, because I'm not blind, and I understand how this game plays. There's going to be ups. There's going to be downs. It's like the tide that comes in and comes out. It's just like a treacherous waters on a boat. You've got to navigate through it. And the team that navigates through it and gets hot and makes a run is what happens. Like I said, take the Diamondbacks, for instance. They had a really good run in 2023. Been mediocre at best since then. They didn't even make it to the playoffs last year. So let that sink in. So they have been in the fight for 22, 23, 24. And they're definitely in the fight as of right now in 2025. They underplayed at the wrong times. They've been inconsistent at the wrong times. But that doesn't make them a bad team. I'm not sitting here I'm going to bet the house that they win the championship right now. But they have one of the better chances in baseball to do it. And not just me who says it. Go place a bet. What does Vegas say for the Phillies to win? It's right there. There's your answer to your trying to think you're going to trap me into a corner. It ain't going to happen, pal. Also tell them the season is different from the others, or they can wait to hear from the final word. Listen, if you guys want to have somebody to piss all over your day, Matty B's there for it. Okay? It is easier to sit here and tell you that the team is going to lose. Because if you want to go by takes, to sit there and say the Phillies are going to not win the World Series this year, and I believe that nothing less is acceptable. But it's easier to say that because they can get knocked out in the first round. They get a wild card round. They can get knocked out in the divisional round. They can get knocked out in the championship round. And they can get knocked out in the World Series. Or they might not even make it at all. And it's easy to say that one of those things are going to happen than it is to sit there and see and look and find what makes them great. Because there is things that makes them really great. This team makes them really good. I'm not just being a homer. I'm not being a guy from Philly who likes to wear my Phillies gear and come on a microphone and talk about it. I'm telling you, if anybody with a baseball eye and a baseball mind watches the Phillies, they're going to tell you, especially somebody not from Philly, that this team has holes. And there are going to be holes that need to get plugged and fixed before or into the playoffs, or it's going to be struggle bus for them. But there's probably 25 or more MLB teams who would take to be in the position. Probably most, probably more that would take to be in the Phillies position right now with the players that they have, with the staff that they have. They would rather be there than where they're at right now. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. I know they've hurt us before. We got to let it go sometimes. Because if that's the way it is, then you shouldn't be watching the Phillies baseball right now. If you just think that they're making any of the right moves, they haven't done this, Dombrowski doesn't do anything, Tomper's the same old Tomper, and he's not going to know accountability, and Bryce Harper's just a big paycheck, and whatever your reasoning behind whatever it is, then why do you even watch them? Just so you can sit here and come on here and tell everybody that you were right? No, not going to happen. 2 championships in 143 years. Let's hope those plug. Let's hope to plug the. Okay. I agree with you. But again, let's take the Flyers. Flyers haven't won in 50 years, right? Over 50 years. So if they won this year, does it take it away from them? Would you get excited that the Flyers took a big step forward and maybe went through a round in the playoffs, and they made some moves and brought some guys in? Yeah, because they haven't had it in a while. We've been teased between that and the Eagles winning. Now we want it for the Phillies, and we've been teasing. It feels like they're going backwards. I get it. I absolutely get it. But you can't sit here and tell me that this team isn't poised. Again, we're getting out of here. I know Matt. What's his name? Pat is probably waiting to come on, chomping at the bit, knowing Pat. So real quick, let's go to let's take a trip around the bases because I've droned on it. All right, guys, let's go around the bases and check out your MLB scores as of tonight. Let's see what's gone final so far. The Reds beat the Cubs 6-2. Cubs suck. Get rid of them. They stink. No, I'm just kidding. Orioles won tonight 2-1 against the White Sox. There's a real barn burner White Sox Orioles game. I'm sure everybody stayed up with bated breath on that one. Brewers beat the Phillies 6-2, as we talked about at length. Blue Jays beat up on the A's 11-7. Mets beat the Rockies 4-2. Angels beat the Guardians 4-1. Giants beat the Marlins 2-0. The Sox beat the Braves 5-1. Cardinals, the Rangers are up 11-1 on St. Louis. Man, St. Louis sucks, right? No, they're having a bad game tonight. Top of the eighth. Also, Tigers are up 6-4 over the Royals. Houston's up 2-1 over the. Houston won 2-1 today over the Rays. The Padres are up 1-0 over the Pirates at the top of the fifth. The Nationals are up 6-4 over the Diamondbacks in Arizona in the bottom of the third. The Twins are down 4-0 to the Mariners, bottom of the second, and the Dodgers are at the bottom of the second against the. The Yankees are up 4-1 in the bottom of the top of the second. So offensive heavy first inning for that game. 4-1 Yankees up over the Dodgers. I mean, that might be a game worth watching if you really if you're a baseball guy. Just, there's two really good teams going at it right now. But if the Yankees win, the Dodgers suck, right? Just saying. Well, we all thought the Phillies were going to make a run last postseason. The Phillies bats and bullpen never showed up, and it got beat by a mediocre Mets team and pitching staff that shut us down. 100% correct, Mike. That was, if I'm going to give some Tomper some hate, I blame Tomper a lot about it. Turning the bullpen upside down. I never understand it, won't understand it. You change everything they did all year long, who was really one of the most tried and true parts of this team. Phillies never got hot again. They got a little steam in August, but that was about it. And they almost like they expected to win it. It was just, it's the Mets. We'll win. We'll get back home. Kind of like they did against the Diamondbacks a little bit. We got win one game out of two at home. Oh, this is a foregone conclusion. We're going to the World Series. I think they kind of took that mediocre response. So let's hope that they learn from that, Mike. Let's hope that Mike Papernick, that this team has a sour, bitter taste in our mouth that I've seen from everybody tonight, that they respond that way. I'm not disagreeing with you on any of that. But what I am going to do is I'm going to go, because you guys are, and stay tuned. Don't go anywhere, because Matty B's protege, will be coming up next with the wraparound. Before he didn't slip. So, guys, Phillies lose tonight, 6-2. Lost first game of the series. Let's hope they come back and win the next two and take a series from the Brewers and keep moving forward. And, we'll take it from there. Last comment. Phillies reverted back to swinging at bad pitches and swinging for the fences. That last year, yes, absolutely. They do it when they struggle. That's true. But that has happened a lot less this year. I'm going to fight on that one a little bit. That has happened a lot less this year. But when they do struggle, they tend to do that. I agree with you. But last year was a big time. Mike, as always, man, you are a great friend. All you guys, love talking tonight. Hey, listen, even though we argue, we don't all see eye to eye. Hubert, Ryan, Mike, Dave, all you guys, even Matty B. I enjoy having you guys tonight. We went an hour and 20 minutes on the finals game when they lost 6-2 on a damn tree Friday night. So, guys, I really enjoy you guys. I love talking to you. Please like, subscribe, all those things. So it's a wrap. Matty and the rest of the group are doing a great job. I wish I could do more. Life is not allowing that right now. Maybe in the future, you never know. But love you guys. Appreciate you guys. Go Phils. Let's go. Come on, let's get a little going. No Harry K tonight for you, but I will take you out, guys. Enjoy it. Tell Pat Bernard I said